Hi everyone. Most people don't know how much work goes into 3D printing. Sometimes it's super easy, sometimes it's hard. Go under Thingiverse. Um, it's pretty easy. You can get stuff off of here. You download it. Once it's downloaded, it's in a zip file. Then you unpack it and you can get just about anything on here. This video, I'm going to show you guys how to make something custom, and there's many sites for that. But we are going to make the sun. But instead of it looking like a real sun, I'm going to make it out of like a stop sign kind of thing. I really don't have any use for it. I just wanted to make a video out of this. I type in sun on here and it doesn't come up with anything. See if it comes up with stop sign. I'm sure someone's made one. Yeah, cute little one. So we're going with something like that. Okay, I use all these places, but I use Tinkercad. Tinkercad's nice because it gives you all these shapes. There's all kinds of different stuff on there. If you guys want me to make a video on that, I can do that later. You start off with a build plate. It's already set up for my printer most likely. I think you can go down here and edit your grid. It doesn't save it. Okay, it won't even let me. Here we go. 230 by 230. Update the grid. Yeah, okay, there. It's a bit bigger. It doesn't really matter for this because you're going to be using a slicer. I use Cura. Right here it is. That's what it looks like. I like this the best. It has a lot more options than the factory one that comes with most printers. But we're going to start off. I want this to be. See, I could easily just put a star down. It kind of looks like the sun. I don't know. I'm going to make it out of a polygon. You use your right mouse and just kind of move around. I'm wanting it. I use a caliper to measure out how thick I want, because that looks really thick, but in English terms instead of metric, that is 20. 20 is not even an inch. I was taught centimeters in school, not millimeters. I wish I would have taught us millimeters more than centimeters, but we always thought we'd use centimeters. So I want that to be, looking at my caliper right now, I want that to be 5 tall. So you put 5.00, or just type in 5, it doesn't really matter. Let's make this kind of big. Let's go 20. 20 by 20. It's already got the 20 on one side, so you just type in 20. Now it's a square, or a perfect squared up. I'm gonna see if I can use these. Now I'm kind of doing this the way I want to do it. I'm going to make them 20 tall. Now you got all these different, you can move it this way, you can flip it any way you want, you can park it right there, and then go up here and type what you want. I'm going to go a full 90. And of course I gotta get back there. Not liking me. There's 90. I did 90 the wrong way, didn't I? I did 90 the wrong way. I gotta do 90 this way. There's 90. And what was our height? 5. So there's our 5. And there we kind of have it. But we're going to pull that in. Doesn't matter if it overlaps a little bit. At least for my project. Okay, it's looking real messed up. Why is this not? Do we do it better with a pyramid? No, definitely not. A wedge? No. I think what we're using is what it should like. So you got a lot of guessing. You can always scribble it, but I use a computer. Microsoft Surface would be just great. Okay, since we made it a weird shape, it's not liking. Oh, Jesus. Okay, put that right there. Okay, you're supposed to just stay a triangle. I don't know why it can't stay a triangle. Maybe this one's glitching out. Let's put down another one. Okay, simple triangle. I don't know why this one's working and the other one didn't. Make it that 5mm tall. And it went underneath, so you put that little arrow, bring it up. You just kind of look around, see if you can see any gaps. Maybe it's because I was going so large. I don't really have anything else that would be large like that. But it's not letting me make it as pointy as I would hope. I was hoping to get it a little bit more pointy. I don't think that's too hard to ask. We could just go like that. Okay, guess we're gonna go with that. We'll finish up the fine details at the end. But once you get that, you just Control C, then Control V, and it makes you an extra one. I'm gonna put that right there. Not too worried about the overlap right there. I really don't want it looking like a stop sign. Oh, will it let me move that? And it has to put it right there, doesn't it? There we go. I'm just going to keep putting these on here. Hopefully it looks like the sun when they're done. Just for video's sake, so can't be too awful. Or let's just sit in here like all day thinking, what the heck could I make that's just so simple? Turning out not to be that simple. Okay, we got two more. Up next, I'll show you guys the printing, the slicing, taking it off the printer, everything, start to finish. I really don't see videos like that. Okay, let's say that's the sun, and we're gonna put something inside of it, but sometimes I like to do this, sometimes I don't. I don't see a gap. I don't really see any height difference there. Doesn't really bug me for testing. I'm going to highlight all this, and then up here it says group. And if it does it right, it'll all change to one color. It should be purple. Sometimes you just gotta wait a little bit. There we go. Now it's purple, and it don't look like the sun at all. It's like something you throw at somebody to stab them. Let's make sure that height is the right. 5. What's our width now? 55. Let's make sure that's not too big. 55. Nope, I think too big. I say too big because I'm wanting it to be a quick print. And let's put something in the middle. Let's put a star in the middle. A star that's bigger than it. No, that's just a star. Now there's other things on here. You can do text. I love the texting on here. It works really, really well. I could always make a video if somebody wants more into that. And I've been doing this a while now, and I still haven't figured out how to like zoom around. Okay. Oh, looks pretty cool there. That's the height that it's going to come out. And it's important that when you're putting it on top of an object, say like that, it's going to print above it. You don't make it super thick like this, and then just, oh, I'll just put it down in here. My printer, at least, will actually print this underneath here, where you don't even see it. And it's a big, huge waste of time. It slows down your prints. You just look at it like that. I normally make it go in just one tick. That way I don't have any problems. But that's not what we're going to do. That's if you want it to be on top. I want to use a little less plastic. And I'm going to put it like that. See how it kind of does weird things when you move around? If you click hole, it now makes that a hole. And you can go like this and see how deep it is. I think it's about 5. Oh, it's 2 out of 5. Let's go 3 out of 5. And it brought it up. It will not print this above here. It's just going to be invisible. I'm going to drop it down so it's flush. Now there'll be 2 millimeters underneath this, and then it's going to be a star in the rest of it. Make sure it's where I want it. And how I want it. That looks a little bit better. Okay, there's our crazy sun/star template. Okay, now you're going to want to name it. It always names it something cool, so I kind of just leave it on there. I'm going to click down or export STL file. You can do all kinds of different ones. I just know STL file gives me no problems. It's going to download down here in the bottom right. I'm using Cura. I'm going to open a new version of it because that one's messing up a little bit. I'm going to wait for that to load. It will put it into your download file. Looks like I already had a project going today, and it's going to be this top one here. Also, you can look at the time to see when it was. Wait with the Cura load. I do have the original software that came with mine, but it's not very customizable, and it feels like something from the 90s. I think if you go clear back, okay, here. I'm making a video of doing lofts. Okay, here's Cura. I'm sure you guys have a different software, but Cura is pretty cool. I'm going to use a 0.8 nozzle on it, which is just ridiculous. I should be using a 0.4. It's a more finer detail, but I already got the 0.8 in right now, so I'm just going to leave that there. You're going to want to open your file. It's going to slap it right on there. Now my Cura has already been set up for me. I put in how much my material was. How much it weighs. I use eSun. I think that's what I use. Yeah, eSun from Amazon PLA works really good. It's weird at my buddy's house. He lives in Pennsylvania. I don't have to use anything on the platform. It just sticks to it. It's crazy. I've done 42-hour prints with no problem. But for some reason here close to Chicago, I have to use a glue stick, like an Elmer's glue stick, just one of the purple ones that like turns white or whatever. It does get a bit messy, and I don't really clean it off. I just keep putting it on there until I notice that I need to do a bed adjustment, and then I mess with it. I don't do a skirt. I don't do anything unless I have to do a wrap, or I'll do a brim to keep down the sides. A skirt, here I'll do a preview for you guys. That's none. Now with Cura, it'll automatically prime it on the side. So you don't, even if you just changed out your colors, it'll go down and then come back. So it'll change your colors out. A raft, simple, puts a raft underneath it. It adds a ton of time to this one. We don't need that. A skirt is just a thing around it, which is basically priming it. We don't need that because it primes it on the side. And a brim is when I use it for when I'm printing a really long time and I have a really big object that takes the whole thing. And it'll start peeling up on the corners coming off the board. This kind of pulls it down, and it'll give it a little bit of extra support. But we don't need any of that right now. We don't need supports. I've done a retraction test, and mine's a 4.0. Build temp, I always put it at 80, 210. Now, whoa. You don't have to heat. With PLA, you don't have to heat your bed up. I don't really have that good of luck with that. And plus, when you heat it up to at least 80, between 50 and 80, your board expands and it builds on that board. Well, then when this shuts off because it's done printing, this all contracts. And it basically pops off your design for yourself. So if you're not there right when it shuts down, you can come in and basically you flick it with your finger. It'll fly right off. It's kind of nice. We will go. It really looks awful. Let's see if we can. None of that stuff you guys really care about. Let's see what a zero infill looks like. Now, as we're doing this, it'll update the time down here. I'm not really going for a zero infill or anything. Let's see what does it keep doing? Oh, let's go for 100 infill. See how much time that adds. 19 minutes. It really doesn't bug me too much. It looks like we would have less problems. There's something wrong with the design right here. Let's go see what I did. And I did nothing wrong. Okay, I see. It's that little line there and that little line there. I see 3 on there. How many does this see? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So because I don't want this video to be too long, that is what we're going to do. Now you can see it's, I love this way. See, it's down like that, it's cut out. Now if we would have done the other way, it would have brought it up. You can do a bunch of stuff under here. I can make a video if people request it. I can make it bigger even though we already sized it up. I can flip it upside down if I think that would be best. I can right click over here and tell it to arrange it automatically. That way it can print the quickest, and it doesn't really do a good job at that. Okay, we need the speed to be at let's keep it at a 50. I normally print at a 70, but since it has so many errors in these corners, we are going to just let it do its thing. I'm just going to look over it one more time. Got a nice base to it. Okay. I think we have it all set up. Now you just want to click save. If I had my SD card in it, it would say save to SD card. Just save it on to whatever gets plugged into your printer, and we will go over to the printer now.
Okay, got my SD card. I have an Ender 3, so I'm going to slip it right down in here. So it clicks. My board looks awful. It's because that's glue. I just got done making something that's totally in this area, and I don't want to clean it for this video. It should stick. Normally I can get 2 sticks off of 1 glue. All I did was turn on my Ender 3. I don't know if you guys can see that. Everything's cooled off since Celsius. It's like 37 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and click my button. Go down to prepare auto home just because I want it to start getting where it needs to go. Then I'm going to go up here. I normally preheat the PLA. I don't know if you guys can see any of that. There's my main screen. Click it in. I don't know what it's doing. Oh. I normally go down and preheat it, but I wanted you guys to see everything in action. And then just go down to print, and ours is star for YouTube, except not really there, and then that's something I'm printing afterwards. 20 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Mine makes a little bit of noise because this fan's going bad. It's a 24 volt fan, so it's kind of a pain to change. The factory ones are sleeve bearing and they're junk, so you gotta buy like this adapter to do it. To do like a hydro bearing or nice ball bearing. I'm gonna put you guys on this little camera mount that just looks straight ahead. Then at the end I'll get it up and move it around and show you. Right now it's trying to heat the bed up to 80 degrees and it's getting the hot end up to 200. I'm going to go ahead and put you guys in here. This is an Ender 3 that's not stock. It's going to be very quiet. The only noise you hear is really just from these fans for now. Going to be doing upgrades. I don't think it ever ends. But yeah, just sit there. This is in live. About ready to start printing. Actually, it's not. It's still doing the preheat where I told it to preheat to PLA. Its default is 200 on the hot end and 80, and then it'll go off my card where I have it set up for different time or different temperatures. Okay, I think it's ready. 80. Now you just gotta watch that first. I told you it primes down the left side. We're using yellow. Nothing for a little bit. And all of a sudden there you see the yellow. Now if I have the bed leveled right, it should stick no problem. And you just kind of stare at it and see if it's dragging anything. It looks like it's doing alright. Looks like I put the speed a little bit too high. I'll go ahead and put you guys in the little mount. About 20 minutes. Normally when it's doing this, I'll reach over here and take off this, just so I don't forget, and so I can see how it's stuck. Stuck pretty good. All depends on what type of stickiness you want. You can get gooey, you can get where it don't stick at all, which is sometimes how mine works out. This print looks like it's going to turn out perfect, other than a few problems we've seen on the slicer. I'm back here ripping apart something. These are tree support on a minion I built. It's kind of hard to get them in the middle of that. So you just got to keep ripping them out. It's kind of a tedious process. I can't stand doing it. Most people can't stand like sanding and all that. I would rather sand than have to rip out these supports, because this took 7 hours, and if you do one thing wrong, it just breaks it. Man, here's some noise in the background. I got my little Dremel going. It's at 18%, 19%, 7 minutes in. Not too bad. .26%, 9 minutes in. Show you what this display looks like. It's very hard to pick it up. It's not a normal display. It's one of the old. It's kind of like a gas pump, but it's backlit. 20 minutes. That's my thing. That's how fast you're pushing it. You can also slow it down, which is pretty nice. 28% done, 9 minutes in, gives you your X and Y axis. I don't even know what that is over there. Your fan, which I think that's the fan on the motherboard. And then your hot ends. You can go cancel it, about printer, tune it. I really don't mess with any of this. I adjust the speed normally. Once you get your first layer down, I'll up it to about 100%, or 100%, 150%, about the highest I've ever went. Seems to be sticking to the board really well. Get you guys way in there. Sticking to the board really well. I may even print another print on top of this glue. You don't have to glue it every time. It does get tedious though. 64%. It's still sticking to the board. It's not raising up anywhere. Oh yeah, 78%. Remember, the star was supposed, or the sun was supposed to have a star in the middle of it that was recessed into the sun. %. We're coming up on the end. Okay, this is what it does when it's done. At least this printer does. Shoots it forward. It kicks off the heater. It still leaves the machine run. Takes it over there. It does droop down just a little bit. A little hair right there of leftover filament. And let's check out what it's done. Now I have a magnetic table, so I can go like this. Pop it right off. It's hard to do with a camera. Oop, still a little gooey because it's still warm. Normally let it cool off a little bit for the video's sake. I want it off now. Ooh, hot. Okay, and there we have it. Still a little bit doughy because it didn't let it cool all the way, but normally that's the easiest time to get it off if you can. This didn't really bother me if I got it off real quick or not. We should have about 2 millimeters thick. You could probably almost see through it because it's so thin. Well, it fits right up there, doesn't it? I did it with a 0.8, remember, so the detail isn't as fine as what it could be. But yeah, it printed off exactly what we had. The glitches that it showed, I can see one right there. That's about it. Everything else is pretty nice. Yeah. And that is from start to finish. And then normally it tells you, okay, yeah, took 20 minutes. See that? 20 minutes on the last print, 0%, and it's ready to go again. And the temps are just cooling themselves off from the high temps that they were at. Bed is super hot, so watch out. Fan, side fan shuts off, that's cooling. And then the fan under there, it hardly ever runs, but it's off. So there we go, start to finish on making something 3D. Thanks for watching.